Live.
Yep. Nope, almost. I thought I got it, but nope. Well,
I'm
something's
not.
going on. Look.
Yeah, we're live, and they maybe hear a voice, but I can't get the camera to work.
Yeah, we're they can
Yeah,
hear us.
we're live, and they maybe hear a voice, but if you can hear me, just hang on a minute. We've got a problem with our camera for some reason. It's not.
I don't think it's the camera. I think it's something with the program.
No. Hold on, guys. Let me see. Uh, let me go back over here to the camera, to my settings. See right here, I'm on the camera, and well, I tested this thing out before we came on because it's been a while. It's been a week, and they've done some updating to everything, and I don't understand why. I'm having issues. I'm fixing to send them a message here and tell them that I am having issues. Let me get out here just a second. Uh, we were going to talk about the Sound of Freedom tonight, and I'm going to tell you, if you haven't seen the movie, if you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie. It is incredible, incredible movie, and I can't even do. They won't let me change my email. They won't let me do nothing.
Okay, go out
Okay,
and come back in.
I did.
Oh, then I don't know what to tell you. Maddie has seen The Sound of Freedom.
It's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna go out here and uh try to get it. I don't understand why my camera's coming in.
What you put that button right there? What is that?
Let's exit my solo layout. Uh okay. I may be back now with you, but I'm having trouble with the I may be back now. I'm having trouble with the still having trouble with the well, I don't know what to do. We're kind of stuck here in the limbo. Uh for whatever
They're not
reason.
hearing you.
Well, I
There
don't know
you go.
what
Now
to
they
do.
are.
I don't understand why the camera's out. Uh,
It's not the camera here. It's something to do with that because
yeah,
there we
it's
are.
there. We can see us right now, but for whatever reason, the camera is not coming on. It's not. See, I cover it up right here. They can hear us, but they can't see us, and that is a problem.
Okay, so what I'm asking is, can you go just end it and go
No,
back in?
I can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that'll mess me up, sure enough. Okay, y'all hang around here just a minute. I'm gonna try it again. Uh, I don't know how to. We go down here and it says to picture to the screen, and nothing happens. And if I go over there to my, okay, maybe I'll message here. I'll message them and see. Can't get my get camera to display. Well, I tell you what, if it ain't one thing, it's another. They're gonna. I guess I'll start chatting with customer support, but
Max said she was going to say the same thing. Just start over.
I can't just start over. I'm actually in the queue with the call customer support with Eddie. Eddie here. Eddie's joined my chat. Eddie's typing now. Okay.
Let's test your camera.
Okay, let me test my camera in for him. Testing my webcam. Testing my webcam. All right, they're not.
Yeah, Candalee, we're playing hide and seek. Y'all can't see us.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. That yeah. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm about ready to change softwares because I've been having so much problems with it. If I have to, we'll just go over and you can pretend like we're here.
Okay.
Uh,
So we're playing hide and seek and pretend.
I'm trying to message with this, but anyway, the Sound of Freedom. Dina, why don't you tell your opinion of the Sound of Freedom and whatever Christians should do or non-Christians should do? They value the life of a child.
Okay. If you value the life of a child, then I posted on my Facebook page. I believe every Christian church in America in their town should buy out the movie theaters of the Sound of Freedom and give the tickets away to not just their members, but anybody that comes up. So everyone can watch it. And then I believe that the leaders ought to get together and say on, I don't know, Memorial Day weekend or some weekend in October when it's cooler, whenever they want to, get together and have a freedom march on one weekend and draw attention to what is going on, because America is the number one importer um,
Of child trafficking.
of child trafficking. I'm sorry, I was reading Maddie's thing. Maddie said, "Don't be alarmed. Mr. T got a haircut and he's hiding."
I did get a haircut on the sides anyway.
TS had some terrible weather. They had trees and everything down, and she thought her house was going to explode. Okay, so anyway, I watched the show. I would ask all of you to go and watch it. It's not a good show to watch. I'll be honest with you. I came out of there mad. I came out of there wanting to go after some people hurting these children, and it's a show. It's the truth. That's the thing. It is the absolute truth because this happened to these two children, and there was a large number of children. So I feel like that we need to stand up. We need to make a difference because we didn't stand up when abortion became legal, and now we've got 75 million and probably more than that babies that have been killed in America. And I just feel like we need to stand up and stop the slavery, the sex slavery, the abuse that's going on with our children. And in the movie, they say God's children are not for sale. They're not. But our government said it's $150 billion business. And that's the part they know of. So there ain't no telling how much it really is.
Well, they're telling me that I've got to completely get out of this live stream and that I have to basically run a reboot my computer and the whole 9 yards, which I think is a bunch of garbage. Because well, it is a bunch of garbage because I have been trying. I mean, I have been using the StreamYard for 2 years, and it's just gradually getting worse all the time with their problems. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go over a few things I was going to cover today. And me and Tony are going to, if I can get this thing to work tonight at 8 o'clock, we're going to go over a lot of these stuff anyway. So if you want to come back at 8 o'clock Central Time, we'll try to. If I cut it off, I'm not getting back on it.
That's what I mean.
This particular thing. Okay. We're going to go on it at 8 o'clock. We'll cover it. But I wanted to read a couple of things to y'all anyway. One thing was about this Bakers. Are you seeing us now? I don't think you are. I think they're still not seeing it. Well, ask them.
Look, I'm
okay.
seeing it. Okay.
You're seeing us now?
Yes.
If we make it bigger, you can see us. That's odd. But anyway, the West trial, the adopted parents were found guilty. 5 of 7 charges, including murder. So it'd be great if they would tell them they're going to get the death penalty unless they tell us where the kids are. But I don't know. Let me get out of here now and see. I don't understand why. Now here we are.
And they know you got a haircut.
They knew I got a haircut. I couldn't hide for long. I did get a haircut, but it's a little long in back. I left it a little long in back. It's almost like a mullet, but it's not a mullet. Do you understand? See there?
I'm not.
Dana's not commenting. But here, juries found that Terrell, I guess it's Trezell West, 36, and Jacqueline West, 33, guilty of second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, child cruelty. And I said, I'm all for these verdicts, but I don't understand how they can get these verdicts like this with no bodies, especially child cruelty, unless one of them fessed up against the other one. But failed to reach a verdict on second-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in connection with their deaths. A guilty verdict for child cruelty was returned regarding Orson. Second-degree murder carries punishment 15 years to life. A couple was convicted of falsely reporting an emergency. The jury hung 8-4 for guilty. on conspiracy charge and 10 to 2 for guilt on the murder charge. So at least they're probably going to jail for 20 or 30 years, which surprises me because of who their relatives are. They didn't say something. The West's eldest child, 10 years old at the time of the boy's disappearance, here we go, testified he saw Orrin dead, and his parents told him that if he said anything, he and the other children would be taken away. He testified he doesn't know if his parents what they did with the body. The family moved to California City a week later, according to the boy's testimony. So the boy testified. That's how they did it. He said Orson disappeared soon after. Defense counsel argued authorities focused on the clients at the expense of thoroughly investigating other possibilities, including whether the boys were kidnapped by a sex offender or someone else from their biological family. And, a kid testifying, kids not going to lie about that, I don't believe. A gag order remains in place for attorneys, investigators, and others involved in the case are barred from speaking publicly on the matter. So I don't understand why that they did place a gag order on attorneys, investigators, and others that were involved in the case, unless they're trying to locate the bodies. Yeah, let me see. I don't understand that why they did bar, especially because here it is. The news media is reporting. Sentencing is set for July 13th. On this date, prosecutors will announce whether or not they will reach High West on deadlock charges. The West reported that the two boys are missing from California City, December 21st, 2020. Prosecutors say the boys died 3 months earlier while the family were living in the apartment in Bakersfield. It's a wonder why that they took those two kids and killed them when they had all the others.
Were they all orphan kids? I mean,
these were
foster kids.
These are foster kids.
All the rest of them were foster kids.
I don't know about that. So we'll see, because it's past the sentencing date. Somebody should be able to look it up. See, I didn't find anything. Talking about the child sexual missing people, and these are unidentified. There's 23,422 open cases for missing people. The way I understand this year, out of those, it says here, out of the total missing people, and I didn't give the total there, total missing, 34,000 have been resolved. Unidentified people, they've recovered 14,462, with 6,400 of those resolved cases apart from that, and unclaimed people, 15,729 unclaimed, and 2,871 others that were claimed.
They said in that movie that 2 million more children go into the sex trade every year. So that's not saying. I mean, that's 2 million a year.
Well, this is what on sex offenders is sexual victims of sex trade here. They're worth $210,012 per victim. The financial cost of the victims and society are substantial. The CDC, Economic Bureau of Child Maltreatment in the United States, implications for prevention. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's a website out there when I was looking this up of people trying to get prostitution legal. And that's all prostitution. Anybody's 21, 18, or whatever above. But if you start to have that prostitution legal, you will have child sex trafficking will be trying to get that too, because there's all sorts of young boy society, men for boys society.
It's the man boy love relationship,
Yeah,
and
society.
they go to Washington D.C. and proudly go to congressmen and everything, trying to get them to pass a law saying it's okay to have sex with children.
Found the estimate of average lifetime cost of a victim of non-fatal child maltreatment was $210,000, and that was in 2010 dollars, with a total lifetime estimated financial expense of approximately 585 billion and approximately 2.7 million victims. That's 2.7 million victims. That's incredible. The estimate is extremely conservative and based on a number of reported victims versus actual victims. Number of victims is not accurate, says reports have concluded it have continued to climb that more than 50%. In addition, some experts still project that nearly 2/3 of the victims' abuse goes unreported. Nearly 8 million reports each year of child abuse are made. 8 million. 70% of those are made by mandated reporters, and that would be like police officers, teachers, doctors, pastors, psychologists. When you go in like to a psychiatrist or something like that, they make you sign, or at least they used to make people sign a thing that says we will hold all you say in confidence unless you tell us about a crime that's going to be committed, or that you talk about hurting yourself or hurting anybody else or hurting a child. And then it says, causing experts to believe that the realistic number has swelled to 15 million children per year. This is validated by more than 50 million sex abuse survivors within the United States. 50 million. Um, and you got to think there's 300 million people in the United States, around 325 million. So what is that? That's 1 in 6, 1 in 7 people have been abused. Um, and it estimates still over 30% of who have never told anyone about their abuse that they've endured. Actual cost based on the experts' annual projections: 15 million children they're exploited every year. The annual economic impact, and this is according to 2010 baseline, was $210,000. Lifetime cost per victim is estimated $3 trillion based on 1 year of victims, and within 20 years, the whole generation impacted by this child exploitation epidemic will be. What will the cost be then?
Okay,
Um,
Maddie has a question, which is a good question. Do
mhm.
you think that they will use this movie to bring face recognition or chips in children? I'm surprised if the bad guys aren't using
Well,
it, chipping.
they already doing a face recognition. The the and the bad guys know this, but they already do that for the missing children's network. The ones that keep they have a database of all these children, and they even do like age progression. And then when they find pictures of children, if you find pictures of children in a house where you have a pedophile, they'll run those through the FBI database and run them through there, and they can tell if the picture matches them or if it slightly matches them. or if it could be, and they'll evaluate it like that.
But I bet you that the bad guys are already chipping the kids.
What do you mean
Women too,
chipping them?
putting a chip in them
I mean, to do what?
to be able to watch them in now time on the computers.
I don't know if that's even feasible right now.
Well, Tommy, remember when I read to you what was in the newspaper about Michigan was had put chips in 17,000 newborns testing to see. They convinced the parents this way if the child was ever lost, they would be able to find them. And there was 17,000 babies that were chipped at when they were born.
Okay. It says here in 2020, 50% of human trafficking victims identified in the federal cases were young girls, children under the age of 18. Most girls were tricked or coerced into
Yep.
trafficking before they reached 14 or 15. Most girls were most girls know they're traffickers. They they just don't realize that they are being groomed to be trafficked. Family members, social media stalkers, and pretend Romeo boyfriends is emotionally, psychologically, and sometimes physically trap these young girls and begin to trauma, and the trauma begins. Uh, Traffic Jam Live is a game, a game changer that empowers other leading anti trafficking organizations like ATO, that's anti trafficking organizations, to do what they do best through the Eyes for You co op.
Through our eyes for you co-op.
Through Our Eyes on You co op, TJL shines a spotlight on the shadows of child trafficking in the U.S. And there are a lot of different organizations that are working apart. This movie was made about 7 years ago.
And Hollywood fought
Hollywood
it.
fought it and fought it
And
and
so
fought
has
it.
the news media now. It opened, y'all, with more tickets sold than the Raiders of the Lost Ark, or not, whatever that new one
The
is.
new one they got.
And yet, all they kept saying was about the other movie. They didn't say anything about this one. And it's because,
They're throwing QAnon in there. I don't know how.
well, anything to stop people from getting to the truth.
Yeah. And sexual tourism is a very lucrative industry that spans the globe. Estimates from the ECPAT International show that every year approximately 250,000 people travel internationally to engage in sex tourism with children and youth, and that the industry generates over 20 billion in revenue. And I don't know what it was, a documentary we saw, but they had some American doctor that was going over to Philippines and Thailand, and he was having sex with 3 and 4 year old kids, and they rescued a bunch of them, the kids, during this raid. But it when the raid was going on, there were people actually that kind of told on the police were coming. They informed for the bad guys. There's just um, nobody safe.
They're making money.
Yeah, it says here sexual tourism, very lucrative industry around the globe. Estimates there, as I just read, about 250,000 people travel for $20 billion. Southeast Asia countries have long been the prime destination for child sex tourism, but in recent years, countries in East Asia, Central America, South America have been increasingly popular destinations as well. Furthermore, in many regions, including countries in North America and Europe, are uh, pre, that were previously thought to be departing countries for offenders are becoming sexual tourism destinations. Both sex trafficking and sex tourism fuel the spread of HIV infection and other sexual transmitted diseases, STDs, or pose a threat to community health, poverty, and gender equality and human uh, emancipation, whatever that is.
So let me tell them real quick. So
Okay.
when I went to Washington, D.C. with my son, one of the things that we were told was that on any given day, there are 25 brothels within a mile of the White House. And as we were walking down the street, there was some men walking in front of us, and this man standing up there in a suit and tie and everything. He said, "Gentlemen, can I enter? Can I uh, invite you to some pleasure?" And the man just kept walking. And I know that that was one of the brothels that they were talking about. Because, and you know, you wonder, these people are not doing this because they want to.
Sexual tourism has various characteristics, motivations. They include persons of any gender traveling abroad and domestically for the purpose of procuring sex. While the majority of sexual tourism are men, women do account for a small portion of offenders. Many sexual tourisms are situational abusers, meaning that they may not constantly engage in that practice, but will take advantage of the opportunity when it arises. They can be any type of traveler, including tourists, volunteers, persons that travel for work. Sexual tourism allows these individuals to feel free from the social restraints governing their own behavior at home. They disregard their moral values abroad and think that they can escape the consequences of taking advantage of weak legal systems and a, a non well, I can't pronounce that today, anonymity, anatomy or whatever, afford
I can't
by
say it because you done
travel.
said that. Anonymity.
Right, afforded by travel. I got a cat wants out, Dana.
Yeah.
Uh, Now on to a few people here that we always try to get people that are out here missing too. This is a picture of Crystal Ann Tymick. This is an age progression photo of what she would look like now. This is a kidnap victim. The FBI, this came from the FBI files of people that they believed to be kidnapped or being kidnapped. This happened in on June of 1994. She was 6 years old, playing near her residence in South Los Angeles with her other three older brothers when they were picking some peaches from a neighbor's tree before disappearing sometime between 2 and 5 p.m. Last seen wearing, and they tell, but that's not is not important. But this is the age progression, and before you think, oh well, they're probably dead, but they, unfortunately, the odds say that a lot of people have been found just by seeing their pictures of people that the age, look at
Well,
their eyes,
but not
could
only
be,
that,
could
there,
be the
if she
eyes.
was taken for sexual, as a sexual slave,
Yeah,
they make money on her as long as she's alive. You
yeah.
know?
This girl also was believed to be kidnapped. This is Sarah Burton. She went missing July 2018 from Joplin, Missouri. She, at the time she disappeared, she was last seen on July 16th, 2018, in the vicinity of 10th Street and Rex Avenue in Joplin, Missouri. She was uh, reportedly missing on July the 20th by her mother, and there haven't been any other sightings since she disappeared. But to me, that girl, I hate to say it, but that girl looks familiar. I don't know. Maybe we know somebody that looks like her, but that girl looks familiar anyway. Her date of birth, she's 5'7" at the time of her disappearance, 170 pounds, blue eyes, uh, brown hair, and there's a $5,000 reward for her. And I'm trying to find her date of birth. She was 29 when she disappeared. And
Date of birth February 22nd, 1990.
Okay. But anyway.
They're asking about Carly Russell.
Which one is that?
I think she's the one that went missing for a couple of days and then
there was one in Alabama that went missing for a couple of days and showed up. I didn't hear about. They're not saying either way on her. This boy here, this is the age progression. He would be 19 to 20 years old. When he disappeared, he weighed 50 pounds. He was 3'8" tall. The date of birth used was September the 9th of 2002. He has a distinct V-shaped strawberry birthmark on his forehead. So I don't know exactly where that was at. He was last seen wearing a black T-shirt, a letters CSI in green printed in graphic on it, black cargo pants. Missing from Skyline Elementary School in Portland, Oregon since 2010. Last seen in the morning, allegedly, he was in a science fair, attending a science fair when he came up missing.
That's who they're talking about, the girl that disappeared from Hoover. Yeah, there's something strange about that.
There's something strange about it because she disappeared, but she turned up 2 days later. And I haven't heard either way. There's nothing that I know being said about it. They've been real quiet about it.
Don't judge her because
her mother's asking her don't. Yeah, her mother's saying don't judge because
you don't know what happened.
You don't know what happened, but sounds like to me that she met somebody and got involved with him, and then didn't want to.
I don't know.
Didn't talk to her parents.
Wait a minute. She's the one that saw a baby walking down the road and
called
911, and then they get there and she's gone too. That was strange.
That was a strange thing that happened. That is very strange. Maybe you can find out while I'm talking to Tony anything about it. I'm going to show this next time too, but Tony sent me this. We were talking about giants the other day, and this is a giant supposedly. I don't know how old that person was beside that person. Who knows? But anyway, it's going to be a little short tonight. Tell you a little bit about what's going on with us. We are currently in Oklahoma. It is hot in Oklahoma. It is, very hot. It was 100 and excuse me. It was 105 all week, and it's been a lot hotter than that. We had some RV issues in Amarillo, and we were stuck there for about 3 days. We just had some issues, and we got most of it fixed, but we've been here visiting friends. A guy I worked with for almost about 20 something years. He's like my brother, not my, he's like a brother just than a friend. And you can hear a little dog in the back. Gracie is not getting any better. In fact, she is getting worse. And we're just trying to get her home and make a decision on what to do then. She's she breathes about just a little bit. Her lung is just breathing a little bit. She doesn't look good in the face and the eyes.
She's getting older.
And
so you can see I'm old now.
She barely, if you watch her breathing, her stomach just barely pushes out. She's really having She's having a tough time of it. A really bad time. Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to make some decisions about it.
Candalee is saying she stole toilet paper and a robe from her job. Who did?
Who stole toilet paper and a robe from her job?
Then she stopped and got food and went to Target and got cheese. It
Said her abductor played with her hair and painted her nails. Oh wow, that sounds
okay. But what happened to the baby?
Well, I think that was just a part of. I don't know. There's a lot.
Was she running?
It was a lot of. No, she wasn't running. She was in a car.
I thought she was.
No, she was on her way down I-65.
459.
Yeah, 459. Okay. It's crazy. It really is crazy.
There was a baby, Candalee said.
There was no baby.
Oh,
just the
sorry.
No.
I got a heart there for some reason. Okay.
Well, that's a crazy thing. If we need to, that takes away from a lot of the stuff that law enforcement is doing when you have to pursue this sort of thing, and that really is crazy. I haven't had a chance to really look into it. We were when we were gone out west. We were in Colorado for a while, and we didn't have great internet service. And last Thursday, we didn't have any internet at all, and so it was we even with our Starlink, we were in a situation where we didn't have it.
Well, it was in and out.
It was in and out, and the weather was crazy. We had, it was hot. We had thunderstorms. We had all kinds of stuff going on. In fact, we got into, I think they call that an abu. I think they call it an abu when you have a big dust storm come up. We were in Colorado near the sand dunes, and a big huge dust storm came up, and you couldn't see this far away from your face.
Our windshield more.
And you couldn't see that far in front of your face. I was out in it at first, and it was like somebody was shooting BBs against me. It was no fun. But we got inside the RV, and it really rocked and rolled us until we were able to pull out for sure. What did oh, nice, Jack, nicer doctors to give her a manicure. Well, if she was faking this and knew the police were out there looking for her, they could charge her with something. Well, listen, I hope that y'all will come back on at 8 o'clock, and I'm going to see I can make sure.
We need some thumbs up. We only got 2 thumbs up.
Make sure that we can try to get on. Me and Tony don't have any issues with this channel the way it's going, but I'll sign off, and I'm going to run through my with this clean my Mac X that I have, and see if I can take some of my, he said, do something to my catch.
Hey y'all, if you go to a church, ask your pastor about buying out the movie theaters to show that movie, because everyone needs to see it. I mean, it's really good for parents to see it and for young people to see it, because they realize how these 2 small children were taken because the daughter was gifted in playing drums or something and singing.
She was a singer.
And so they played on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of people that's how a lot of people get tricked into doing it. Like we talked about last time we were on, that they tested, if I tell you again, they with the parents' permission and sitting in a van with police, they had a cameras on their kids playing in a park, and they had somebody come up with a dog leash and say, calling their dog, and walked over to these little kids and said, "Will you help me find my dog? I lost my dog. Can you please help me find him?" And as they walk away with these people. So, the parents never would believe this would happen, but they see it all the time.
Maddie's pastor is a state patrolman. True story.
Wow. In what state? Maddie, what state? I know a lot of good police officers that are doing that now. What?
Nothing. I was looking at something real quick.
Okay. Maybe you didn't want to say. All right. Well, listen, come back when me and Tony get on. I'm gonna see if I can make sure. Colorado. Wow. Okay. I know some good guys that are turned to that preaching and everything after they retire. Also, I know several that are preachers right now, retired from law enforcement and did that, but are even maybe doing it while they're working. All right, well, come back to me and Tony's on. We'll be on here at 8 o'clock, and just
Candalee said that she
not
finds it
too
amazing
much.
the woman ran home from the Red Roof Inn.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll talk. We'll talk more about this in a few minutes. I just want to get this thing straightened out before Tony comes on. So I'll see you at 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for coming tonight, and sorry for all the mix-up for sure. You have a good night.